Live for the first game of the day. It's going to be Heroic, obviously, versus Big here. We're going to be jumping into Cobble first map. And kicking it straight off with a pistol. We're jumping right in. Harry's going to be joining me today for the broadcast. And how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, Hugo. Haven't been up long, neither have you, I imagine. But anyway, speaking of being up long, that's where Big currently resided. There's got a whole bunch of players over towards here. 3 off the bat, with now Nex making his way up through mid, trying to catch these 2 players here off guard. They are going to spot out Yugi, and this is where Modi has to try and pounce to help him out best he can. And now, as he gets stuck in the corner, Leggy is mid-air and takes his head clean off. Going to find it in second as well, as this pissed around starts off in Big's favor in a big way, as they go ahead and pick that bomb up. Cadian and Nico, the 2 players left to try and retake this A bomb site once that bomb goes down.
Oh, look at this boost over the smoke. I love it. Nico can view everything on the A site. Unfortunately, looks down and won't spot Leggy crossing as well. That's the bomb making its way to the site. This is perfect so far for Big. And now stuck on a 2-on-3 retake. The one chance to get their kill back in. And Tabson, he's going to remove Nico's face, leaving just the troll of the team, Cadian, the latest addition, or maybe stand-in for the time being, as Valde was removed from the roster about an hour ago. So we'll be interested to see how that progresses. But Cadian, obviously, no pressure on his shoulders here. Actually, I guess a lot of pressure to try and perform. And this is going to be the pistol round where he attempts it, pushing on in, looking for the second. But Legia on the site has a massive pistol round. 3 kills for him. And Big, they are going to pick up the first round of their map pick.
Yeah, and you got to bear in mind, Heroic going through that roster change merely hours before this game. That has to affect them. What's going to be going on. Valde, as you said, being benched for this one. Cadian being brought on in. And, Big, no changes for them. It's just the same 5 germs across the board. So, yeah, it's now Nex and Legia make their way over towards B. Bomb's going to be left just waiting passively back, as you can see. Keeve going to be holding the flank as well, making sure no one goes aggressive in this force fight for Heroic. Making sure that their flanks aren't open, taking things very slowly to begin with as they smoke off platform as well. I'm just waiting for that smoke to dissipate and holding the angle. Looking like they want to try and grab control of the drop down first. Now, no one playing this for Heroic just yet, as they now look to raid in the utility to try and get control of this early on. Modi, the player who's waiting passively outside of drop, need to pounce at a moment's notice. Now the smokes and flashes rain into the site. Push looking like it's about to come in. A lot of pressure on Cadian with the Mag 7 up close as he looks to try and rain death in their proximity. He's going to be able to find the first. The Mag 7 so deadly up close, but the Mag 10 going to roar into action, prove it's even deadlier. Both players fall within the site, but into a 2-on-2 we go as Modi comes in from the flank, doing good damage. I pick up one with this UMP.
Yeah, now a 2-on-2 retake. Actually good odds here for Heroic. Good damage done so far, and only leaving SMGs and no utility on Big, but still, Yugi's only got a pistol, saving for that AWP, and Modi's caught outside the site. This is a hard spot to be in, and Godby's aware of the flank as well. You can see he's watching the backline as Yugi starts to push on in, looking for the kill, but Godby takes his face off. It's all onto Modi, and Nex will find him as well. Big finally close out the round, but again, a bit of a loss. They lose 3 in the process, so some money at least gained for Heroic and lost for this T side, but it's not going to be an issue to rebuy, bearing in mind they are up against Eco once again, so Heroic won't have a whole lot to play with. No more than pistols, if that, and I don't think they can even invest. Cadian's going to get a P250, but other than that, we have a bare bones buy for Heroic. And I guess this round kind of gives us time to talk about what's going to be going on today, so we can break it down for you guys. Obviously, this is ESL One Cologne close qualifier now. The second day of it, and we're into the quarterfinals. So we're going to have, obviously there are 4 quarterfinals matches, 2 running concurrently. We've got Dignitas versus, help me out someone, Dignitas versus Tricked running on at the same time on the Tea Time stream. But we've got this one on the main stream, and following up later we're going to have Space Soldiers versus Envious while the other game goes on at the same time. So good stuff all along the board there. We're going to have Godsent Polaris coming up on the Tea Time stream as well, I can only imagine. But yeah, so quarterfinals coming up, and then we have semis, and then we have grand finals. So there's going to be 2 teams from the EU qualifier making their way into ESL Cologne 1 2017. Going to be a very exciting event, obviously, and it's all to play for. Big looking very, very good in the qualifier so far.
Hugo, you sound excited. You sound positively buzzing.
I'm happy
with excitement. I can tell you're talking with a smile on your face. I know you better than your average viewer, and I can definitely say that I can tell you're smiling, at least the tiniest bit, and that's a big deal. But yeah, Big, they're going to now be on 3, trying to go into this with a bit of a null investment on their part. They don't really put much into this. They buy up, you know, the utility that they were missing, but for the most part, they're going to try and make some magic happen with these SMGs. It's risky, but it might pay off. Yugi's going to be on that AWP, but as a result, he doesn't have head armor, so these UMPs, they're going to be deadly and could just eliminate him very early on. He looks to take the aggressive peek in through mid, has Snappy here to try and trade things out, and will look to now just peel on back in towards the relative safety of this bomb site. Snappy going to be left over towards mid. Watch any entry in through there. 3 players for Big over towards this bomb site. Make that 4 as now Legia joins the rest of them. They are going to be leaving tabseN to hold the flank, looking like he could try coming in through drop down early on. The utility is just raining in towards as a flurry. Frags look to go their way. tabseN going to open things up in a big way. Gets himself 2 with that UMP. Suddenly, Yugi on the site is really the only hope on this bomb site. Snappy pouncing in from mid can now finally go and help on out, but Yugi's already gone down. They do manage to turn it back to a 2-on-2, leaving this all on Legia and a Kiev. The bomb is going to go down. I mean, Heroic are now the team on the clock to come in for the retake, but Snappy's already been allowed to make his way up through mid. Nico's here as well, spots the player on the side, but it's going to be tagged down low, and now it's all on Nico. 1v2, both these players tagged extremely low, finds the first, going to look for the next, but no key from above, rains down death.
And there we go, Big picking it up, a very close round considering Legia was so tagged up on the site as well as Kiev. That looked like a doable round, but they weren't able to isolate that one solo player on the site. Legia really being the thorn in their side over on the balcony. As we see Big pick up a 4th round, Heroic back into Eco once again, only pistols coming in as Snappy and Nico investing in a bit of armor alongside that UMP and Deagle, so something to play with, but by and large it is going to be a round very favourable for Big, as they do have all the weaponry in their hands. tabseN even keeping this UMP, wanting to farm up that cash despite having all the money to fall back on. Again, Heroic are going to be eco here, and he knows that, so he can at least go for this kind of risk-reward play of getting that SMG, but as a return, he does get that $600 kill bonus. It's so good at racking up the money, and Big is so good at least with economical management and knowing when to buy up, knowing what to buy up. Never really making issues to that regard, but maybe with nades they are, as next mollies his heavens. And they are going to be setting up for the B site. Seems like a bit of a late take as smokes will fly on in, but they still haven't committed. Bomb actually going to start to back off through the halls, and it seems like Big may just be throwing a couple of smokes towards B to try and fake things out.
If you look at it, it is the perfect call to make as they rotate 4 players on back. They're going to leave tabseN in through drop down once again to grab that early on. From here, he can either control the rotates and try and shut them down as they make their way towards the B bomb site, or help his team clear out A, and it looks like he's going to do the latter. Now the A bomb site entirely clear as Heroic opted to stack B. It's going to bode extremely well for Big as they get this bomb plant down, and now with the rifles across the board, it really leaves Heroic in a position where all they can do is go for the save. They don't want to risk falling to this solitary SMG on Big, so they're just going to opt to stay within the B bomb site, try and hold on to what they do have.
Yeah, the only player even close to chasing here is Snappy, and I wouldn't even call that a chase. He's just trying to get a little more cash to fall back on, because while obviously the loss bonus is going to start to culminate here, if he can get an extra $600, that's another molly, it's another kit flash, lots of extra things, but he gets nothing. God B just takes his face away, and Big, they are going to be able to close out the round with no deaths, it seems. All players saving in through mid, and Heroic keeping their pistols alive in B. It's going to be helpful to players like Nico, who are going to have a bit of armor to work with, but Cadian, Yugi, Modi, not really saving anything too heavy. The Deagle could support an AWP on Yugi, but even so, it's a bit of a far-fetched one. It's just them trying to stop Big from racking up that money with the SMG. So now 5-0, Heroic going for the buy, and obviously this is Big's map pick, a very good map for them indeed, Cobblestone. So I'm excited to see how they do perform on this T side. We've had the kind of early rounds, we've had the honeymoon phase of this first half, but now we get into where Heroic have the big bucks, and they will be investing in that double AWP, something they don't typically do too heavily, but obviously with the late addition of Cadian, that's going to be something that we can see a little more likely here on the CT side. So Yugi, as you would expect on that AWP, and Cadian going to be playing it as well.
Oh, but Modi gonna physically pick that nade up and eat it as though we're an apple to kickstart this round. Already tagged down to a measly 46 HP before he's even seen the enemy. Forced on back from drop down. And now having to play things more passively. This is going to be in Big's favor. I mean, we've seen them opt to take drop time and time again, with tabseN being the player to push on in. As you can see, he's already waiting up there towards the top of drop, ready to just peek on through. And Modi having to play things a lot more passively, going to allow them to make their way on in. And as you can see, I mean, it leaves a lot more pressure on Nico. He's now going to watch his back from drop, as well as the eventual push out from platform. It's just going to be too much to bear as he goes down. Now Modi has to try and pounce in through drop. Hot on the heels. We're going to get the refrag on the tabs, but now he's been tagged down low, leaving one player within the site in the form of Cadian with that AWP, and he's going to fall at the first hurdle. Will go down. Modi going to roast in the fire and flames, and now it's all on Snappy and Yugi to rotate on in. And in a 2v4, the bomb going down, they're just going to make the decision to save.
Yeah, best decision there. Obviously, the AWP's going to be very, very valuable to hold on to, but a nice take from Big. Very good execute, and they will get themselves a free site. So 6 rounds in, I was saying it was a honeymoon phase, but maybe I was a little bit wrong. They don't seem to be stopping this streak of rounds on the T side. Continuing this great performance. But again, they have really been one of those teams to kind of, especially recently, come out of the woodworks. They've had results like winning ESL Meister Shelf, which are, you know, kind of expected, but at least coming second place in ESEA Global Challenge Finals, and now, you know, seeming to be very, very good online, as some of these players always have been, Kiev notably. Even Tabson stepping up phenomenally. Big are looking very, very good recently, and I'm very much expecting them to actually qualify for Cologne, just off of the way that they've been performing in the past few weeks. That being said, it's definitely not a free ticket in. There are some tough teams in this qualifier, and Heroic being one of them, but right now, not showing it.
Yeah, I feel like you have to give some of it the way that the fact, you know, they've lost arguably one of their best players. Valdi being benched for this game, Cadian stepping on in. You know, whilst I am a fan of Cadian, I have to say that, you know, having someone brought into the roster this late on in, just moments before you're meant to go live almost, isn't going to bode well. But speaking of this, Nico is about to go off as he's over towards round, finds that first by platform, as now he looks to try and help out Cadian best he can and allow Cadian to take these peaks up on towards long. Big for the time being. That one player lost early on in the form of Kiev has actually slowed them right down. You can see that they've been trapped over here towards long. Leggy are stuck in the corner now, going to peek on out on Acadian. Won't find the frag just yet. The only advantage they've got is that Tabson's been allowed to sneak his way on through into drop, but he has got Modi hot on his heels. If he tries to get too much down, going to peek on out, finds Cadian. Now he has to watch out because Modi could come in on the flank, but Nico's going to get caught out in the open. Modi taking the long rotate in towards the site. Tabson going to peek on out as he gets fully flashed, finds himself a second frag, and in the blink of an eye, it's all on Yugi and Snappy yet again.
Yeah, Snappy does pick up one, but fully blind. Tabson's going to follow up, takes a second kill there. And now we are just going to see Yugi alone, trying to hold off the angle. Tabson peeks. Good damage done. And he's going to try and repeat, but Leggy will just shoot him through the wall. It's going to be big to pick up a 7th round in a row. I don't want to say it if I'm completely wrong, but clearly something's going on for Heroic right now. They've lost 7 rounds on the CT side. Something is happening. And I think it's got to be related to this roster change that we just saw happen. For that to happen right before an important match, things can't be going well. There's no way you change one of your players before a match if everything internally is perfect. So this may really be getting the better of Heroic. They may not be feeling this matchup, and as we go into 7-0 territory, they're going to finally call in a pause, which I definitely agree with. Give them some time to work out what they want to do. The money's at an awkward spot now because we have players like Cadian and Modi who can invest, but the rest of the players, other than SMGs or shotguns, which is good if you have 1, maybe even 2, but you can't have 3. They're just novelties. This is going to be a real difficult round for Heroic. Bigger showing no signs of stopping. Kiev's on 16k. And Tabson, as you would expect, is 11-4, dominating the scoreboard once again for Big.
Yeah, and you know, the worst thing for Heroic is aside from, you know, early on in that pistol and the anti-ecos, ignoring that, since we moved on to the rifles, one of them has been close, and the others have all been landslide victories in favor of Big. We've only seen it go down to the one-on-one once, and even then, Big were able to win it out. So the force buy is going to come in from Heroic. I imagine across the players that could afford a little bit extra, but I mean, it's not going to leave them in a good spot, right? I mean, if they lose this, then they're going to be 8-0 down.
I mean, they're half buying, so they have something to fall back
that's
on.
what I was saying. I was saying they're buying down on players that can afford it. So, I mean, if you look, like Yugi, Nico, they haven't been bothered to invest much. And now, let's see if this kind of half force can pay off as they bought down across a couple of these players who had the cash to spare. They are going to be getting the full run of that loss bonus at least, which does give them a little bit more to work with. Once again, Big going to be sending 4 players over towards B. They actually leave Kiev behind to watch aggression from Rapunzel, just waiting to see if anyone pushes out through mid. And it looks like drop down to be the main point of contention this time, as everyone's stacked up here for big early on.
And Modi just playing that anti-flash roll, just playing it close, waiting for them to burst out. No one from Big's going to be dropping, but look at that. Good damage already. Nico's going to be tagged up over through long. They've got Molotovs to flush him out, but he'll just take the peak, and Next takes him down as well. Big have got that man advantage, taking the first kill. And again, this Molotov, I'm not sure if that's a set molly, but Next keeps throwing that same Molotov. It doesn't seem to be landing. Either way, Cadian's going to be playing close. Modi's still in the drop down. He will spot the head of Tabson as well. Fully aware that he's very close. If he can drop this key player for Big, this could be an avenue back into this round. Nades are going to come through though. Modi does take down Tabson, and Cadian very close with that Mag 7 finds nothing. Legia on 3 HP will finish him off, and Nex is going to follow up as well, taking down Modi on that B site. It's now completely opened up. Only Yugi remaining. He's got a Deagle, so there's no real reason to save. He can fight this one. And as well, because Snappy pushing him from the back. Again, Legia is tagged, so another free pick here going to be gifted if he does push around the corner. Oh, but Legia sneaking below. I don't think he has a clue. Legia, he doesn't spot him. He's right next to him. Legia just walked right past Snappy, and neither of them have a clue where they are. That is ridiculous. He must have looked right at him, seen his legs on the screen, but couldn't expect it. As Snappy gets taken down, Kiev will finish him off. It's all going to be on Yugi, holding onto that AK. He's going to do his best to save. Or not.
They tried to save what they could, but they will be put to bed by Big, who, once again, another triumphant round from them. 4 players alive. Heroic not really finding too much success here. Cadian's going to be buying up that second AWP once more, so we're going to be seeing Yugi and Cadian tasked with trying to make some magic happen early on. And we might see a little bit more aggression come out from the CT side now in an act of desperation. Currently 8-0 down on their CT side. 3 players over towards B. Once again, Snappy and Yugi over towards this A-bomb site. Looks like they are going to be employing the boost up in towards Skyfall, and they're going to go down straight away as Tabson. No problem eliminating Modi there. Going to jump away from that nade just in the nick of time. Tabson still alive and kicking, merely on 9 HP. We will be seeing Kiev boosted up. Try and find something on play early on. Cadian's here with the AWP, waiting to counteract this play. And at this point, Big even looking at perhaps a little bit uncertain as to whether or not this B bomb site is for them. Going to be rotating a player on back in the form of Tabson. He's only on 9 HP though. No one's there to trade things out if he does go down. And Cadian watching the angle. Kiev's about to peek on in, and Kiev will go down. So they lose that man advantage back on a 4-on-4. No one with a chance to refrag. And now God B going to be heard dropping in towards drop. There's 2 players here to trade out for this. Nico should be able to find this frag if it presents itself. And God B on a silver platter rounding the corner will go down.
Yeah, now the B push is going to come through. Tabson's still lurking on the A side of the map, but Snappy removes him. Next is going to be alone, and it looks like Heroic may just pick up their first round. Molly goes through, Cadian hits a shot. That's 3 for him, a good round, and Heroic will finally pick it up, 1-8. But again, Harry, we come back to the same issue that we always see when we see, you know, first halves or second halves be a stomp. Now we see Heroic susceptible to reset. If Big pick up this next round, which they can definitely do with the money that they have invested, it is going to be Heroic down to $1,400 on the loss bonus. Really not a huge amount of money to fall back on. They have a bit of cash on a couple of players, but not enough for a full buy by any means. So it's going to be a quite, you know, large issue here for Heroic. If they do give up this round, they've got to wrap 2 or 3 together. They've got to get some money to fall back on. And now we are going to see a very, very important round. Nico starting it off with some aggression on the plateau. Cadian's going to be supporting with a Molotov as well, but Legia, he's pushed up so close. He's just sitting in the smoke. No one has a clue. Nico hasn't even spotted him. There, on the other side of the box, spray comes through. He doesn't connect. Legia's going to try and pounce now as he hears a reload, and good damage done. The nade will follow, but Next hits a shot, and now they can just burst out onto the B site. There's only a couple of players remaining. Cadian sitting on the statue waiting, but Next takes him down, and instantly it always seems like it's Snappy and Yugi left for the retake. Big pick up the round, and we've got to see Heroic save.
I mean, Big are just looking phenomenal right now. Their pushes in towards B have been textbook, to say the least. I mean, that play from Legia there, he wasn't spotted. He somehow stayed alive and then uses that to get out towards the side. And then it was actually Nex who found the frag anyway through the smoke with an amazing pre-fire. Just showing the kind of levels of communication between these guys right now. And Heroic, I mean, they're definitely struggling. They've still got the AWP on Yugi saved up. Snappy's going to be able to save the M4. That is, if he doesn't go down, he's going to be playing a little bit further forward, just waiting as Big, understandably so, do go hunting for these players. They're 9-1 right now. And, you know, admittedly, whenever you think of Big on Cbble, you think of a team that's had a good bit of success. But at the same time, I mean, like, coming into the next map, right? How confident are you that Heroic aren't going to see the same sort of pitfalls we've seen here? It doesn't look like it's anything too entirely map focused. I mean, their layout hasn't been that bad. The rotates have been good. We just haven't really seen them stepping up in terms of a lot of their trades haven't been there. Just, you know, finding the actual frags early on has been a reoccurring issue, and I do feel like a lot of that could be pinned onto the sudden roster change. Not roster change, but, you know, the sudden benching of Valdi.
I think the main worrying issue is Heroic's map pick on the second map is Mirage. That's Big's best map. Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense to see Heroic pick that one up, even if it is a good one for them. Typically, you want to get rid of your opponent's best map. So seeing Big go onto Mirage next worries me for Heroic. If they don't pick up this map, which is hard being said anyway, I don't know how they're going to survive this one. Mirage seems like a very dangerous one to pick up as your second, but let's see. Nico. Aggression on Plateau, going to actually find that first kill onto the boosted Keeve, and Legia not going to be able to trade as the smoke is down. His teammates reactively push up through A, and the AWP of Yugi has to hold off on these players, does take down Tabson. Snappy will come in from the back lines as well, so got to be pouncing on these players from behind. A good position from him, but they need to be aware, they need to go around and check their back, otherwise Snappy is going to do a heck of a lot of damage. Spots them both out. There's the first, but he gets blinded. Doesn't matter, the damage is done. God B is alone, but again, Snappy gets flanked by Legia, rotating off of B. 2 players left now for the T side. Yugi's posted, and he will get another kill, leaving it all on God B, but Yugi, classic him, picks up 3, and Heroic, they will go for another round, 2-9, after the reset as well, actually being able to get a good buy together with a double save, and that will be them picking up another round on the ball, but still Big can buy.
Yeah, I mean, Big have no issue buying in this round or the next, and well, Yugi making his way in through mid. Looking like he's going to go for an aggressive peek early on, but now actually going to wait on back. Once again, Keeve going to be watching for any aggression out through middle from Rapunzel. And there's Yugi going to give it to him, peeking out wide. Keeve takes him down, and that will be the man advantage now in favor of Big. Snappy left up towards A alone. Going to go ahead and retrieve that AWP. Cadian watching the push out through long. God B. Looking like he might be able to give the equalizer if he peeks around that corner. There are still 2 players here posted on up in the form of Legia and Nex. And do the damage on Acadian. Pop Flash going to come on out. That will force Acadian back, and have the same angle to peek. Now going to be trying to find something over there towards platform, but isn't getting a lot done. The smoke's going to go down, and he has to fall on back. Pop flashes himself away, falls back over towards Chicken Coop. Players in drop, 2 players over towards long. The push is going to be coming in towards this B bomb site almost indefinitely. Moddy's waiting in connector. He's going to take a while on the rotate. Pop Flash going to come out. Now Leggy is already on the site. They don't realize he's there, and Nico will go down as they secure a further man advantage. Moddy finally rotating on in, goes ahead and takes 2 for his troubles. Cadian over towards Chicken Coop, still hasn't gone down just yet. And what was that flick, Cadian? He's going to go ahead and find himself a second, and somehow Heroic go ahead and pick that round up. It was looking phenomenal from Big, but instantly return, and the round now goes the way of Heroic.
You gotta love the setup from Big though over on that round. They completely take drop control, they completely take plat control, all with a man disadvantage, and not, you know, with getting any picks. All they do is force Heroic out of these positions on the CT side, and then grab themselves all the control they need, and from then on they can split themselves out through the, you know, drop down with Legia as well, and coming out through plat. So yeah, a good round from Big, a nice setup to actually catch off these players early on. And talking of catching up, God B, he's going to do exactly that. Takes down Snappy in the first fight, sorry, and Big get themselves the man advantage once again.
Abson just waiting over towards drop down. Everyone else trying to make something happen in through mid. Key's been boosted on up on top of Nex, but Moddy's actually going to take the peek on in. That smoke's going to start to dissipate. They will be getting on out of there, but it's Yugi to find the first. Tapson's been allowed to worm his way in through drop as a result, and Modi will come to regret his decision. It's going to go down, but Nico's hot on his heels, running on through. Tapson's going to fall. The push in towards A, coming in from Big, but the rotate's already arrived as the cavalry charges on in to the site. Yugi trying to hold back the tighter players, but it's Cadian to find the first. Looking to get more damage done. It's going to be chipped away and actually tagged down relatively low. But still, Nico on the site. Yugi's here to reinforce. It all falls onto Legia. 1v3 over towards Long. Going to go ahead and throw that nade on in. It is going to hit Nico for a hell of a lot of damage. But it's not going to be enough. 30 seconds left for Legia to play around with as he tries sneaking up through stables. Going to spot out Yugi. Does the damage on a wood swap. But Cadian's watching the cross and has no issue just guillotining him on his approach.
And a pause coming out now. I can only assume that's a big tack, but even so, the scoreline is pretty good. Just taking a second to work out what they want to do coming into this next round. Buy is not going to be an issue. Legia can drop over that AWP to keep and still buy utility alongside, so should just be okay here for the side of Big. Even so, Heroic have actually done well in getting a couple of rounds on the board. You've got to take into account that, as we mentioned, Valde and Cadian got swapped just a few minutes ago, and actually in the knife round, Harry, they got swapped in the knife round, and he's currently top fragging for the team, not by a huge margin, but he's still up there. Had some good rounds with that AWP, so it's looking good so far for Heroic, you know, given the odds. But again, you don't look at Big without looking at Tabson at the top of the scoreboard, 14 and 9, carrying his team as per usual. But consistent player across the ball for Big, and that's something that's always nice to see. All players, you know, really having a fine game. No one stepping down too seriously. Don't see anyone dropping behind, and same on Heroic as well. So actually quite a good matchup so far. But again, we are fairly early on into the first map. This is only halfway through pretty much. I'd be interested to see if Heroic can pick up these last two to at least make the scoreline a little more respectable.
Yeah, I mean, the one issue with Tapson right now is since round 9, we've seen him get 3 kills, which just so happens to be, you know, from the offset of Heroic's kind of win streak. He hasn't really been performing the same as he has. And, you know, I mean, of course, it's probably because we've seen a little more structure behind Heroic, but at the same time, him just failing to find as much success could be something that's holding these guys back. And now, as they push over here towards this B bomb site, everyone here early on with Tapson ready to break his way on in. That's Tapson being, you know, the standout player on Big, and he pop flashed in through drop to try and open things up, and here he goes. Nico will hit the deck. Modi to try and refrag, and he flashed on back, and suddenly Tapson's presented with another frag. It's all one Cadian to try and hold this back, and he's going to fall. Does get one. Snappy's already rotated on him, but getting spotted out by Legia. Just chilling out on the site. It all falls onto Yugi. He does just decapitate Godby at least. But in a 1v3, the AWP in hand, he will be forced to fall on back and save.
I don't think people realise that that knife round comment was clearly a joke. They obviously didn't bench Valde during the knife round. Either way, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that, but yeah, Big picking up a 10th round. Good stuff on the board here for the T side, but again, it just seems like the same issue. Yugi and Snappy always seem to be those players on the A side of the map that have to save. Snappy going down this time, so not going to happen, but either way, real issues for Heroic in terms of this, you know, retaking potential, because all it is Big taking control of this B site. Very rarely do they hit in towards A. They've had a couple of rounds there, but by and large it's just been those constant B takes, and I think at this point you want to go for some kind of quad stack on B, maybe play more so, you know, less manpower on A until you see maybe Big go for a shift. The only rounds they've gone for A have been reactive pushes or late round pushes. They've never set up towards A at the very start of the round other than that pistol. So looking at Big's A takes, Heroic can easily go up for that 4-man B stack. If they see smokes come over, then yep, they can commit to it. If not, if it's a late round and no pushes come through and no information has been gained from Heroic, maybe drop a player back towards A in case we see this late round push that we have seen Big utilise once or twice. So this is something that Heroic should at least think about in terms of trying to switch up their CT presence.
Snappy's going to be up close over in mid. Leggy is now breaching the corner, and Pop Flash going to force him back. Snappy's fully white, but they don't check the angle. You always have to watch your corners, gents. So suddenly Snappy's going to pounce from the shadows. Only gets one, luckily enough, as now it falls on a Yugi to hold back the coming tide of Big. But he's doing a fantastic job. It all falls onto Keeve in the blink of an eye. 1v4 with the AWP in hand. Molly going to rush him with that UMP, and he will go down. A 5-10 scoreline as we head into the second half. And let's not forget, it was 8-0 at one point in time. Heroic doing a fantastic job of pulling this back to a more favorable scoreline as they head into the second half. And you know, I mean, the hold there coming in from Yugi up towards the A bomb site, kind of the defining feature of that round. He does a great job of holding them back, buys time for the rotates to come in, and by the time that Heroic get onto the site, they've been dismembered, dismantled, and the approach looking disjointed as they do get shut down. Into the second half, the Heroic, I would say the pistol round is going to be worth its weight in gold to these guys if they want to stay in this.
For sure. It's going to be a very important one to get back into this matchup, and realistically this is only the first map, so they have something to fall back on at the end of the day. They had Mirage, well, that is a great map for Big, yes, still maybe Heroic have some hidden secrets that we're going to have to look out for. But again, this is single elimination for those wondering, so it's very important that these teams pick up every single map they can get, because again, all it takes is for you to fall out in a best of 3, and then you're gone. You cannot qualify for ESL One Cologne. There are no more second places. This is a close qualifier. They've made it through one of the opens, and realistically, it's looking right now that Big are in a great position to actually make their way towards the next part of the bracket, but it's definitely not over. I don't want to call that 15 rounds into the best of 3 series, but again, I know who I would have my money on at this point.
Now, Hugo Byron, did you just have a little sip of water a moment ago?
Don't flame me, Harry. Don't flame me.
You just had a little drink.
I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay. You're calling me out. You're putting me on blast.
Right?
You're putting me on blast.
Heard that.
Yeah, we have a long day. We have 12 hours. I need to keep myself hydrated.
Okay, so professionalism is gone. That makes sense. The day is
okay. I won't drink. I won't drink, Harry. I'll starve.
I'm gonna have a sip as well.
To this.
There you go. Enjoy that, everyone. As now we head into the second half. What's going on? Madness already begins. It's only map 1. The pistol round is already going to be underway as Heroic go and send 4 players over towards B early on, waiting for any aggression to come out through mid, but already Tabson's pushing down long. They got to watch out. They're not going to see this one coming. He's just going to behead Yuki. Got B's here as well as they tap into action. Nico is going to be able to trade things back at least. Does pick up 1, but the man advantage still going to be in favor of Big.
And look at the position of Cadian right now. He's pushed all the way up on the A site. There is a defender here. Legia playing close, but look at the timing. He walks away at the worst possible moment. Keeve at least is holding the angle to at least support, and Legia does go out and get the kill, but Heroic had such a good opportunity to get that A site control once again. Now it's Snappy and Nico to pull things back here for this T side. Trying to push up through this A site. Snappy does take down Legia. Only one more defender. The rest are caught out in the connector. It's going to be Keeve to try and defend this alone. Has 2 players to deal with. Time plentiful for Heroic, but Nico removes the head of Keeve. Now the bomb going to start to go down, and we have to see these rotations from Big. It's going to be God B coming in all the way in from the flank, and his teammate going down on balcony as well. Now it's all on God B. Somehow Heroic could pull this back, and it's a 1v2. A doable one, yes, but a very difficult one at least, as now they know exactly where he is. They can just play the close range with the Glocks, play that crossfire as he pushes on in, looking for the kill onto Snappy. The one low HP hit player finds ahead of Nico, looks in for the second. Snappy just darting around the truck, and he gets the headshot, but so close. God B only needed 1 more shot. And Heroic, they are going to pick up that pistol round, a very important one.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, a part of me is really starting to worry for Big, in all honesty. They might have looked phenomenal in the early stages of this, taking it to an 8-0 scoreline, but since then we've seen them do very little. Out of the last 8 rounds, 2 of them have gone the way of Big. And now as we continue into this Heroic, they are going to have the pistol under their belts. The buy is going to be coming on in. The force buy from Big allows them to facilitate these 2 scouts up on Nex and Legia. It's going to be a budget AWP between them. Heroic stacking up outside of B once more. Molly going to be watching for any aggression out through mid, just biding his time as his teammates try and clear out this B bomb site.
Nades raining. Heroic just trying to get that drop control early on. The SMG is going to be perfect for this position, while pistols are dangerous. UMPs are very effective at this range, and God B going to be looking for that first. Cadian's already found himself there, but the flank is coming in. He's got a player pushing from his behind. That's Tabson with the Deagle. Dangerous. His weapon's not great for close range, but he gets away with it with a spam. Drops Cadian, and Heroic have completely left their teammate to go down on his own. The rest of them rotating in through A. They can smoke off the door, they can get control, and with only Legia sitting on the site, he has to go massive. Although God B running in through the smoke, these guys don't care. They're just looking for frags. It's like a matchmaking game, but Nico sprays back 2. Tabson and God B fall, and now it's a 1-on-3. Legia doing the damage, and Nexwell as well. It's big to pick up that second round, and this is so common at Big, not only on Cobblestone but on Mirage. You constantly see them go for this double scout round second buy, and it works out so phenomenally well. They always seem to play their force buys effectively here on the CT side.
Alright, going to be forced by back up though to try and keep themselves in this and steal this round back from underneath Big, as Big previously did to them. 4 players, 5 players out through mid, over here towards A early on, as they're just waiting for any aggression to come out over towards long. Nothing's going to present itself, but Legia is posted up here with a scout in hand. The pistol armor players ready to rush in like cannon fodder in through mid, as Nico scouts out long with the AK first. Going to be peeking on out. Legia is holding the angle, but he will check it. Actually, Legia going to go ahead and get decapitated. God B going to be hot on their heels on the rotate coming in through mid, but suddenly pistol players present themselves up through the angle. The Molotov doesn't hold these players back over towards long, and well, in the sight, Tabson's going to be tagged down low. Nico's already here with the AK. I'm going to shut him down. Keeve does finally trade out and deal with the threat that was Nico, but there's a 3-on-3. God B's been tagged down low, and Keeve going to get annihilated on his push in from Modi. Modi going to continue this aggression, spots out Nex as well, and suddenly things get toasty for God B, who's going to have his face impaled. It all falls onto Nex. 1v3. Scout in hand. He's been able to worm his way through onto the site, but now spotted on out by Cadian. And it's Yugi to finish him off from long.
1 HP left on Cadian, and despite Big picking up that second round force buy, they fall to the hands of 1 rifle and 4 pistols and Heroic. A great, I guess, force buy in retort here from the T side. Very back and forth, neither team able to stabilise their economy. And we're actually going to see Big save up into this one, not invest, not try and crush Heroic's economy while it is low. Again, they did keep 3 players, meaning their money wasn't that crushed, but still it would be a good chance to exploit. However, I definitely agree with the save in this one. Loss bonus going to culminate a little bit, so they will have enough money to buy up next round to some extent. But only pistols in this one, and Legia making it count. $300, takes the head off a Snappy. Nico trades, but his damage is done. A 1-for-1 trade, and Big just pulling all the rotations back towards the A site.
It's going to spot all the players over towards B though. Yugi and Cadian both spotted out by Keeve. I think they're debating whether or not they want to head in towards this B bomb site. They know there's at least 1 player here. They spotted Keeve out over towards platform just moments ago, and they are going to go ahead and smoke things off. Now look perhaps to rotate on back and join their teammates over a mid as the bomb rounds its way over towards long. Big actually make the wrong decision and rotate next over here in towards the B bomb site.
I think this close player is going to be very important. If God B can spot any of Heroic early on, he can call for that double rotation. Just go for the risk play. They are on pistols. They should be stacking sights at this point. He's going to hit and push on in. There's Yugi. Goes down. Cadian to follow. And now 4 rotations will come in. They know that it's going to be A. And with 30 seconds left, they may be able to stop this bomb plant as well. Moving Keeve and Nex over towards the A site to play close. And Cadian going to get tagged by Tabson's P250. Nex as well taking a kill. What's happening? Big are going to pick up an almost full eco. Only 1 player invested in armor. They've got a 2v2. 20 seconds left. We've got Keeve playing towards the back of the site. Nex just biding his time, sitting on the swap van. Damage done. Cadian removes him from the equation, and now it's all on Keeve. They've got to plant the bomb. They've got to clear the site. They're going to push on in. I think they're aware though. They're checking it. Cadian does it. Keeve looking to trade, but Modi will take him down with only 6 seconds remaining. That could have been really, really dire for Heroic, but they pick it up. However, losing 4 players to an eco, I'm not really too sure.
And, you know, because Big hardly invested in that previous round, they're going to be able to put a decent bit up behind this one. It's armor pistols. They're actually going to have more than they had in the previous. This time, the Heroic do have 4 rifles and the Mac 10. On the Mac Daddy himself, Cadian wants it back, and Leggy has already gone down over towards long. The man advantage has been picked up by Heroic, and they will take that in their stride. Once again, a quick reminder that this was 8-0 at one point in time, and right now it looks like it's going to go 11-9 potentially, as Keeve going to be guillotined as well. Tabson going to be chucked at scout to try and make some magic happen. Instead, he's going to have himself a hard time at things over in mid as Modi picks up 2, and that will be the round going the way of Heroic. 11-9. 2 rounds between Heroic and Big as they have pulled a master comeback. The buy is going to be coming on in from Big. They've got the Mag 7 on God B, the most instrumental part of the team at this point, with that shotgun.
Very excited to see how this performs in the drop, as you would expect. I mean, you can play it towards broken wall, but drop is also a great position. Look at this burst play from Heroic, running into the site, absolutely no fear. Cadian goes down straight away. The rest of them making their way out through Plateau, and Kiev going to get dropped, instantly removed from Yugi. Nexus playing close, and they haven't checked it yet, but he's just waiting. Flashbang comes out, he goes to the peak. Bomb dropped as well. Godby moves in close to support his teammate, and Nexus still here. They still haven't taken him down. Eventually Snappy will, but Tabson chimes back as well, and Godby is still sitting close to do the damage. Eventually will fall to the hands of Modi as Legia comes in for the back spray. Only gets 1 though. Modi trades, and that could have been perfect from Legia. He lined them up almost, perfectly there for the last possible kill, but either way, Heroic are going to be picking up that round.
Almost perfectly being the key word.
Yeah.
It wasn't perfect enough for Legia there on the flank, and that is going to mean they're now Heroic. They're close to pulling this back to an even scoreline. Big, they're going to be force buying down on 2 of these players who can't afford it, but no one else really can afford to invest too much. They've got upgraded pistols at least, a little bit of utility as well. And Heroic already pushing up towards B. Nico's watching any aggression out through mid, joining up with Modi as these 2 players look to try and trade out over in middle if one of them does go down, but they should. I mean, they've got rifles, right? So if anyone does push on in, they should be able to pick these up relatively easily. Tabson and Legia looking a little bit curious as to what mid does have in store for them. The rest of their team exerting some pressure out towards this B bomb site, not allowing either Kiev or God B any sort of aggression up through long. Just waiting this clock down. 1 minute, 10 seconds left. Plenty of time for Heroic to make their mind up. And Tabson's over in mid. You can see that Next is actually rotated on round as they've opted to stick 3 players in this A bomb site now. And Bomb already pushing up through long over a B. Gonna bode well for Heroic, saying that doesn't matter because Modi makes his way in through mid, goes in swinging, picks himself up 2. Legi's been allowed to work his way through behind, but it doesn't matter because now the execute comes in over towards B. Cadian's gonna get the first. Got B's here as well, but he's gonna get himself ruined on the peak. Now it's all on Legia. 1v5. He has been allowed to sneak past Modi.
Oh no.
Nico's watching the angle. No, he's not. Back turned will go down. The AK gonna be scavenged. The knife comes in from Legia. The Ninja Warrior, as he finds himself 1v4.
Not only tilt factor gained, but also money. 1500 from that knife and an AK as well to save. That's good for Big. But again, they still got a long road back into this matchup because as far as I'm aware, well, they are now 11-11. Big seem to be far behind. Heroic have really done well at pulling this one back because Big have only picked up a couple of rounds in the last 10 or whatever. So Heroic have had a monster time back into this matchup on both the T and the CT side, so it's going to be a big chance to bring things back for themselves. Up into this next round, they're looking to try and get 12. Heroic will finally equal things up with 11-11. And frankly, I'm impressed at how well Heroic are doing considering they have this, stand-in for the team. Big haven't seemed to be a team that's been too weak recently. However, this matchup, not really having the performance we'd expect. Kiev, down at the bottom. The player that carried Big, up against a weaker Flipside, but still carried Big with something like 30 kills yesterday, up against Flipside in the this round of 16 of this bracket. Now, on the other hand, in this one, he's got 9 kills. Completely different Kiev.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. As
oh, that's so bad.
over towards long, Legia is here. Old Tabson down in mid as well.
Oh no, stop.
Holding his ground. The push going to be coming on out, and actually Legia's got a lot on his plate as the player's starting around the corner over a long. He's still just hiding somehow. Going undetected over and long for the timing. When the peak comes through, once that smoke dissipates, he's going to find himself in a hell of a lot of danger now. Just going to fade away into the relative safety of the A bomb site. Tabson's here to help out. They're really going to preemptively rotate Nex on through as well. 3 players for Big in this A bomb site, but the bomb's been dropped back so passively that they can afford to rotate. And actually, that does look to be the decision that's been made as 3 players now exit back out through mid. Nico looking to join them as well. It looks like B is going to be the site in question as they go ahead and pick this bomb up. They've been watching for any early aggression They haven't seen any. Now, that smoke going down so far over towards long does mean they've got a lot of angles to check as they make their way on out. Keeps holding the angle with the AWP. And as you said, I mean, yesterday when we saw him play versus Flipside, he was a machine. Sadly, they're looking to be a little bit low on fuel as he peeks on out. Going to miss that first shot, and now he's trapped between a rock and a hard place. Does pop flash himself out of that sticky situation. Got B holding the close angle. A lot of pressure on him as he will fall at the first hurdle. Rotate's already coming on through. Key over to get one back in return. Legia chiming in with another and another. There's no stopping him. Yugi going to come on through with the AWP. Does have the crossfire set up with Modi, and well, Modi's going to be annihilated. But Yugi with the double no-scope doubles down, gets himself the 3K. And that's heroic to find themselves a 12th round.
Very close one for Big, though. Only just slipping fourth at the end. So it just proves that they still have it in them to manage to get back into this matchup after a bit of a comeback from Heroic. Just falling short of the RNG of the AWP, as you can see in the no-scope. But either way, they are going to invest a little bit into this one. They've got Keeve on that AWP, rest of them on the pistols. They've actually still got some saved cash as well. Keeve buys an AWP, and he has 1,400 left in the bank. So that's good to see. He has money to fall back on to go for the real buy next round. The issue is he won't have an AWP in again unless someone drops him. Definitely doable. Players like Nex and Legia have cash, but these are just pistols. It's got to be aggression on Plateau. They don't expect it. He actually gets caught out. He does get the kill before he falls, though. Snappy Trayton and Cadian in the drop down, taking down next to the UMP as well. Good damage so far from Heroic, not allowing anyone from Big to get anything done. Keeve should probably be holding onto this AWP, and Legia is looking for damage as he doesn't have any armor to fall back on either. Now Keeve has to run. He's got the AWP. He's got the armor. They are going to be potentially chasing this one, especially Cadian, who's only got a UMP, but he is low, so not necessarily worth it. As Heroic will get the bomb down. This should be their round as well, because Keeve is not going to be contesting.
I think this is one time where it's acceptable to say that this is Heroic's round. There's no should be about it.
Yeah,
Keeve is
after I said that, I realised. No, Harry, what he's going to do is he's going to come in, he's going to ninja, 10-second defuse, no smoke, no kills. I mean, it's happened before, right? Not in this matchup, but FaZe have done it before on Mirage. Or against FaZe. Can't remember who it was.
Sound statistical analysis, as we would come to expect from this duo. 11-13 is Heroic going to go ahead and pick themselves up another round. Keeve does at least save the AWP as a silver lining, a diamond in the rough, a diamond amongst the turds, if you will. And now 2 rounds ahead. Heroic, a team that was behind 0-8. Let's just put that into perspective. Now pulling it back, so they have a 2-round advantage over Big on Big's map choice, no less. And well, the buy going to be coming in from Big. The pause, I feel like at this point, has to be on Big's end, as you know, the scoreline has caught up with them, and now they find themselves on the back foot, trying desperately to claw this back in their favor. And I mean, you know, really, when you look at it, I do think you were right, bang on with what you said. A lot of this falling onto Keeve, who looks like an entirely different man to what we saw yesterday. There hasn't been someone competent with the AWP to out-AWP the double AWP on the side of Heroic. That's the one advantage we can see from them bringing Cadian in over Valdi, is that, you know, he does have that ability to bring the double AWP set up into the team with a hell of a lot of confidence. You have 2 players who work very well with that AWP, and I mean, Keeve is someone who could out-AWP one of these guys on a good day, but coming into this, try and out-AWP 2 players for the side of Heroic. I mean, he's been struggling up against riflers, and you haven't really been able to rely on anyone to dispatch of these AWP players for Heroic. Even in, you know, a couple of rounds ago when we saw him holding over towards platform, he had about 3 opportunities to try and pick up the man advantage over towards long, and he missed every single shot. Had to pop flash himself on back and fall into the site. And at this point, he's proven to be a little bit more of a liability than an asset to the team. Now, I hope that steps up. I hope that he can, you know, try and find his groove once again. You know, Nex may be someone else who needs to be stepping up a little bit. Usually we look to him to be someone who can pick up a lot of these trades. It's something he's very good at, is being that consistent fragger and not allowing kills to go untraded. But I mean, the issue is that's not necessarily his fault as much as perhaps the rest of the team not stepping up in a big way or not being in great places to trade. A lot of the times we just see Heroic break out in a big old flurry of frags and towards the bomb site, so it has been tricky to deal with.
I mean, it's not even just Nex, right? It's just we expect this core duo of big, having Keeve, Nex, and Tabson to all do well. Tabson's doing very well, but he is the only player of the trio there. Legia and Godby usually a little bit further down the scoreboard. Legia is currently on 19, just below Tabson. So he's doing very well in his own regard, but as you say, again, Nex, Keeve really having their issues. So this trio of damage is not appearing for the side of Big, and Heroic are exploiting this very, very well as we look to go into one of the maybe penultimate rounds of this matchup, or of this map at least. Heroic up to 13. Very, very close to closing out this first one. Unless Big jump right back in with a round here or next round, which they won't have money to fall back on, this is going to be probably over. Legia close in mid. Nice shot from here. Gets himself the first. Almost a second. Damage onto Nico done, but he gets traded. And now Heroic can just burst up through A. There's only Tabson there. Again, more trade games coming in. Next gets dropped, but Godby is there to respond. And Tabson moving close in middle as well to try and pick up anything here. But if he walks through the smoke, they may not expect it. Oh, Nico the flick. God, Nico. 12 HP. He gets the kill. And Godby gets one before he gets smoked off. Now it's a 2-on-2.
I mean, Nico's looking nutty right now. It all falls onto Keeve, who turns it into the one-on-one. This is where he has to step up. He has been one of the players who we spoke about a couple of times. Now he finds himself in the 1v1. He has the potential to bring Big back into this. The bomb is dropped. Yugi's pushing up though over towards SWAT. Keeps holding the close angle and he finds the frag. Yugi goes down and Keeve wins the Clash of the Titans between the two AWPers between these two teams. And that'll be big now to find themselves a 12th round. One away from equalizing this back out at a 13-13 scoreline. Plenty of money for Heroic. Does mean they can afford to buy regardless. It's not really till a couple of round time that we are going to see that called into question. Godby's going to be relegated down to the Mag 7.
The only issue with that, right, is they pick up the round, but they lose 4 players in the process. That is the main problem for Big. They're not able to establish an economy, and while Heroic have money now to go for the buy once again, if Big lose this, it's going to be the reset, and with no spare cash. But Keeve, again, stepping up for the team. A first kill of the round, takes down Modi. Now the rest of them trying to burst out of plateau, but Cadian's been tagged heavily. Yugi damaged a little bit as well, and Heroic not even going to commit to that. They get smoked off, and they'll just fall on back. But look at Legia's position. He's holding the back lines. He's pushed all the way up, and they aren't going to check it. Nico doesn't care, though. He takes the head, and Legia goes down. Now they can burst A. They know the EA site is going to be completely empty after finding that pick. But Big should be rotating on back, especially after losing their lone flank player. Tabson close. Godby got to be the only player to move on into A, and he's got a Mag 7. I feel like at this point Big should be going for a double rotation. They've lost their player. They've got no information onto anyone towards B from Heroic. This is most clearly going to be an A take to Big, but it seems that they haven't realised it yet.
Going to leave a lot of pressure on Godby with his trusty Mag 7 over towards this A bomb site, playing it solo. Watching the angle over it long as the players now look to make their way on in. Tabson actually be rotating on up from the depths of B as they do finally release him from his cage. Free reign out towards the A bomb site. Godby doing some damage over towards long. It's going to be spotted out, just pins it against the wall. Does find a hell of a lot of damage on Acadian and Nico, but doesn't pick up a frag. There's a lot of work onto Tabson, who is going to be spotted out over towards the site, trying to take him down. It's going to be Yugi, but he doesn't get the work done. Next is the crossfire set up. I'm just going to go ahead and behead Snappy. And now it's Nico and Cadian. Cadian does pick up the first and the second as well, lining them up and knocking them down like big fleshy dominoes at this point. And now it's all on Tabson versus Nico, who's going to go ahead and get ruined. Heroic going to pick up a 14th round.
1 second left on the clock when Nico hits that headshot with a Glock. We see the last player just darting around the site, looking to stay alive, to stop them from finally finishing him off, and he goes down to a Glock with 1 second remaining. That has got to be heartbreaking for Big. Now it's a 12-14 scoreline. Now Heroic are back in the driving seat, and they are looking close to close out this game. They've reset Big's economy after a great round. Good damage done, but no biscuit. It is going to be Heroic's one to take. Pushing up through long. Legia alone on the defence. We have Tabson in mid. And Legia, he hasn't even fully bought. He's saving somewhat. I don't understand this very much, but he's got himself just a B250 with no armor, while the rest of his team are fully invested. This is a weird one. Maybe communication issues for Big here, but they are going to start to push up. And he is going to be alone on this one. Tabson smoked off in through middle, and now he has to back off. They're going to regroup. But Heroic have already got a lot of control and forced out double rotations towards the A site. There's 3 players here. So if they just hitting towards B, they have a completely uncontested site.
Now we're pushing in over towards that B-bomb site. Nico now rounded the corner mid, spotted out by Tabson. Gonna go ahead and get himself taken down early on. Snappy's been allowed to work his way out through long, and Legia, just presuming it's clear, goes walking into the waiting gun of Snappy, who picks up 2. Cadian gonna dispatch of Got B. Next does trade things out at least, but the bomb's already rotated round out towards this A-bomb site as Nex and Keeve find themselves in a 2v3 retake. Snappy doing a fantastic job of playing that lurk role and coming in, picking up those 2 frags over on A and just opening up this round for Heroic. They look poised to take this through to map point on Big's map pick. Let's not forget, once again, you know, a very periodic reminder, this was 8-0 at one point, and now it looks to go to match point in favor of Heroic. He's gonna be spotted out jumping across, and Yugi shuts him down. That is Heroic to arrive at map point. 12-15 in their favor.
I don't even know what to say after this. This is an insane comeback. It's absolutely out of this world. Heroic looking to close out this map. Cadian's even going to go for the SMG once again. He knows what kind of buy Big are going to have put together, so not even wanting to invest in the rifle. And frankly, he's doing well enough with it. But let's see if Big can surprise with this pistol round. They're definitely a team that seem to be effective on force buys. Maybe not up against the full buy of Heroic, but there's always that, you know, chance, right? That's pistols in CSGO. There's always a chance for a for an upset. Cadian just trying to make his way through the doorway as well, having a bit of an issue, but Big playing fairly aggressive here as well. They've got 2 players close on plateau. They've got Godby in the drop down. That's fairly normal, but Nex and Keeve seem to be contesting this one. They get picked. That just allows Heroic to charge on into the B site with no defense.
It seems as the minute mark comes in that Molotov's going to force these guys back from plat. Keeve going to take up position here once more as the nades finally do fade away, but forced on back. It's going to be Nex up close, watching the angle with the CZ. Doesn't get anything done as he does lose his head. Cadian continuing this rate of terror in towards B. Got B going to go down as well on the entry, and Legia and Tabson left in a 2 versus 3 as Cadian will hit the deck. Tabson able to pick up 1, still trying to do some serious work with this UMP. Works his way towards the site, but you're going to shut him down. It all falls under Legia. 1 versus 3. Bomb still hasn't crossed or gone down just yet as he worms his way to the site. Got to watch out because Moddy's holding the flank and he doesn't check the angle. Will go down, and that's Heroic to win this out. 16-13 in their favor. And let's not forget Hugo Big. We saw them have an 8-0 lead early on, and then Heroic only went from strength to strength in that comeback to pick this map up against overwhelming odds.
Yeah, and now you got to take into account as well, we're moving on to Heroic's map pick next, Mirage. A map that, while Big are very good at, it is the pick of Heroic, so you can only assume they have something up their sleeves there. So we will be jumping onto that one in just a second. Until then, we're going to take a short break, guys, and we'll be back with the second map of the series very shortly. Don't go anywhere.